Thousands of Mississippians are finding their access to the polls blocked by a law more than a century old. It was initially developed to discriminate. 16 WAPT investigates the effects the law is still having now.
The fight for voter equality took a sinister turn after the Civil War, when southern states focused on black men who'd just broken the chains of slavery and gained the right to vote. Mississippi led the way in crafting those laws.
Here at the old Capitol, a constitutional convention was convened. The goal was simple.
You have the 1890 Constitution, and it was rewritten specifically to dilute the black vote, and not even dilute, but to eliminate the black vote.
It was the legal disenfranchisement of blacks.
It's a fact. James Vardaman said the reason we actually are creating this new Constitution is to keep the N-word from voting. That's what Vardaman said.
Nearly 130 years later, a provision in the 1890 Constitution still looms over the value of our votes and who gets to lead our state. It's not as simple as whoever gets the most votes is the winner.
Even in the governor's race, you might win the popular vote, but if you didn't win the majority, being 50% plus one, then it will go to the legislature to determine the winner.
Along the way, another group of people found their rights stripped away in Mississippi. Ex-convicts. There are 22 crimes on the state books that, if committed by a citizen, could cause them to lose their right to vote. According to public policy group One Voice, nearly 220,000 Mississippians were disenfranchised as of 2016. Of that group, just 7% were incarcerated at the time. Even after paying fines or serving their jail sentence, the remaining 93% can't vote for life. Drilling down further into the numbers, nearly 128,000 people in that group are African American. One Voice says that's 16% of those disenfranchised.
There are mothers who have wrote a check with insufficient funds who have lost their voting rights. There are people with shoplifting charges like that have lost their voting rights in Mississippi, who never served a day in jail.
But that vote is important because now when you register to vote, you become somebody who can sit on the jury and determine, based on the information given, if this person should be sent to prison.
There are groups advocating for ex-convicts to get their vote back, and there are people challenging the law of the land. Just days ago, a U.S. district judge refused to strike the 1890 provision down before the general election. But the judge did express grave concern that the rule is unconstitutional, which means it will likely be revisited in the future.
Why should I have to go through 2 elections to hold one job? If the people of this state determine the winner, then so be it. We shouldn't defer to a select group of people to make the final decision.
Now, there is no word yet on when the federal judge hearing the case will make a decision. Whether the judge rules for or against removing that constitutional provision, it is likely that appeals from both sides will be filed in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans.